One of the most prominent soloists to emerge from Herbie Hancock's backing band during the 1970s was trumpeter Eddie Henderson. And from his 1974 second solo album, Inside Out, the track Discoveries. Okay, so far we've got a really prominent sort of lurching bass line from Buster Williams, who would soon be recording solo, and hearing a little bit of keyboard in the background, slowly emerging. Synthesizer played on this album by Patrick Gleeson, although Eddie Henderson's former employer also makes an appearance, but more on that later. I think I'm hearing two drummers at once because it sounds like I'm hearing two sticks going against like a hi-hat or cymbal, like metal, and then I'm also hearing drums. And there are two guys credited on drums, so I'm thinking they're both. I'm thinking they're both playing on this track. I hear those little sounds, those weird little wiggly. It sounds like we're in a jungle somewhere, and there's all these little creatures, all these little insects and worms and everything making all kinds of different noises. Those are the discoveries. I definitely think I'm hearing two drummers, one of whom is Billy Hart, who would eventually be recording some free jazz albums during the later part of the decade. And the other one, Eric Gravatt. That name I'm not as familiar with. A modest list of credits. Played on I Sing the Body Electric and Sweet Nighter. Huh. Been a while since I looked at the. Played on Julian Priester Peppo Matoto's Love Love album. And Joe Henderson's Canyon Lady, and a couple of McCoy Tyner records, and at least one of the Natural Life records. So good stuff spanning a career that lasted about 15 years. It looks like, according to these credits. Hear that kind of squawking sound in the background. And of course we've got the really prominent like trumpet going, and those kind of crickety sounds, kind of low end produced. Perhaps on a clavinet. That might actually. I think we're hearing the one and only Herbie Hancock making some of those noises. Let's see if they bring up. The credits are kind of just all aren't really specifying the who's who. Yeah, I guess we're hearing the entire band because yeah, they only break it down track by track for the composition here on Discogs, not the track by track instrumental credits. So I guess yeah, we're hearing our guy because of course this does have a lot of carryover from the Headhunters albums. You hear that like whistling sound? That. I can't even really pinpoint the notes that the bassist is playing. It's just so oblique. Boiling sounds. Those sparkly sounds. How some of these people manage to concentrate with all this like racket going on. There are so many different things going on, so many different directions. Like the drum, the double, the two drum track is just kind of in a could be its own piece really. Yeah, I can confidently say that I would not have gotten bored had there been just a 2-minute solo of just the two of those two guys drumming. But it's all the better with all these other layers just going on everywhere. It's just like a big abstract, expressionistic painting. All those as it fades out, you can hear little sounds here and there, like that little bubbly sound. Just yeah, Discoveries by Eddie Henderson, one of the breakout players from Herbie Hancock's early '70s backing band, and Hancock returns the favor by playing on that track and lending quite a Headhunters feel overall, and produced by Skip Drinkwater. And congas by Bill Summers, another guy who would record solo a bit later in the decade. And clarinet, bass clarinet, flute, well, those are all the instruments played on the album anyway, by the one and only Bennie Maupin, who also would debut solo the same year. Let's hear another track from the album, the very next one, the appropriately titled Fusion. I think that that bass line is kind of doing its own signatures within the 4/4. Like I'm getting this kind of I'm detecting sort of a 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 amid the 4/4. Hear all that cymbal spray going on, and then you've got, yeah, obviously with two, what, not the kind of thing that could be produced by just one hand and one stick. There's like one guy totally just ringing the cymbals as the others just yeah, working the snare, working the toms. That fizzy, fuzzy keyboard sound. Amid the clavinet, bit of like choking clavinet here and there. Herbie Hancock and Patrick Gleeson, I guess, between the two of them, producing all kinds of wiggly sounds. At times like wiggly, bubbly, or fizzy, or head spinning number right there. Fusion by Eddie Henderson from his 1974 second solo album Inside Out, released on Capricorn Records, and just pulling out all the stops, just abstract, dizzying, barely like composed yet free, on the verge of just total chaos. Just you have a basic like ostinato shape, kind of a loose idea of how you want things to center around, and then you just kind of let everyone go bonkers with that very basic, simple premise, and just all kinds of fireworks and glitter and just smoke get kicked up into the air, and just everything just kind of falls at random and blows up, and yeah, and produced, engineered by John Vieira, and with that, I think with that I've mentioned all the credits. Um, yeah, yeah, John Vieira, also technical hand on Sextant and Headhunters, and that aforementioned Julian Priester album, and title from Norman Connors. So good connections here. Let's see, Eddie Henderson during this time period, in addition to his own prolific solo career from 1973 onward, he also appeared on albums by Buddy Terry, Pete Yellen, um, Norman Connors, uh, Louise Gasca. I don't know if I pronounced that name right, but yeah, it's a good album. Born to Love You. Charles Ireland, Lenny Williams, the soul singer, Gary Bartz. Yeah, this guy was everywhere. Oh, and he also returned to sideman status with Herbie Hancock. Well, played on Herbie's VSOP project in 1977. And Billy Hart's, yeah, the guy who played drums on Inside Out. He returns the favor to Hart later in the decade. Manhattan Blaze, yeah, the Burrow Sanders, Buster. Yeah, the list of just impressive credits goes on. Hmm. Even a Martha Reeves solo album from 1980 that I'm not even familiar with actually. Making a comeback there. For more Rubies and Sapphires from the solo catalog of Eddie Henderson, see the directory of albums by American jazz funk artists linked in the description below for red hot tracks and tasty purples from this album and the one before it, and several of the ones. Yeah, Realization is explosive debut from the prior year, and then Sunburst Heritage coming through. Yeah, good strong string of albums, and then from all the other people that were mentioned in this video that were on this record, Bennie Maupin, Buster Williams, Herbie Hancock, of course. Yeah, all their output from the 1970s and into the early 80s can be found on the directory of albums by American jazz funk artists, over 500 titles strong. Like and subscribe and follow me on social media, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the two tracks we just heard, the layers, the instrumentation, what solo stood out to you, the arsenal of keyboards, the sounds that were used, which sounds you thought were most engaging. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.